appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, stick around, click all the buttons, do all the things that help the algorithm. Leave a comment, that helps the algorithm a ton. Check out the eBay store, got some stuff on there, especially helping with cell cameras and cool mounts and things like that. Lots of cool stuff on there. Also the Patreon, that's our new thing now. Make sure you join the Patreon. We got giveaways coming with that. We got opportunities to make some videos, do some shot 3D events, TAC events in the future, as well as giveaways, podcasts, questions, lots of cool stuff coming on the Patreon. Check it out. I hate to be that guy and sound like that, but that's kind of what this whole YouTube thing does now. So anyway, go check that out. It's linked below. Today, what we're looking at, I know that, so the Shot 3D events are over for the year. They were mostly in the spring. The TAC events that are up north, the bigger TAC events are kind of starting to get going, like your Colorado, Montana, maybe Michigan. I think they just did Pennsylvania. Those are huge events with a lot of people there. And if you're going to one of those and you're wanting to do your best while you're there, this video might apply to you. And if you're a deer hunter or an elk hunter or antelope hunter, and you are just wanting to get a little better maybe on some longer shots, I think this might help you. Not that I'm an expert, that's the disclaimer, not an expert, but I do shoot a lot of long range shots. But the point of this video is how can we make our groups better or shoot better or more consistently at long range. That's the purpose of this video. I've shot a lot of TAC and shot 3D, and I've seen myself go from struggling at long range to getting, I hate to say great or good, but a lot better at long range shots. And I'm talking 100, 125 yard shots. And if you're shooting, if you're struggling at 60 or 70, these same concepts apply to you. So maybe you're not ready to shoot 100 and you don't even think about shooting 100, but you need to get better at 60 or 70 yard shots. This video is going to apply to you. So definitely stick around. You'll want to see some of these tips and maybe you can apply some of them. Leave a comment below. Appreciate you. All right, so the number one thing, first step, if you're going to try to group good at distance, is you need to get a good sight tape. I've never personally had good luck with the pre-built tapes that come from HHA or UltraView or Spot Hog or whoever. I've always printed my own. As you can see here, this is a precision cut archery tape. Enter my data and man, they just seem to be so much more precise. This one is really close. It's not totally perfect. It's probably a yard off at like 100 or 110, but everything else is pretty well spot on. So get a good sight tape or you're going to spend most of your time guessing, and then you're trying to guess, was that a bad shot or is my sight tape just off? Spend time, and I spend months probably. I start probably in January. I spend months getting a sight tape, making sure that sight tape is accurate, testing, reprinting, reshooting. Spend some time just getting a good sight tape. When you do get the sight tape you want, put it on your sight with like 70 or 80 yards. When you get a good 70 or 80 yard group, that's where you want to line up that indicator, not with 20, okay? This is 80 yards. Just a little right. That was a surprise shot. I'm hitting just a touch right. Bump right just a little bit. That's better. Now we're getting dialed in. A little low. All right, so these were our first shots, and I was hitting right, made a few clicks, dropped one in there, got a couple little flyers, pull them out. So these were my first 3 shots, hitting right, height-wise was good, made a few clicks, moved them over, and then put one in the X or the 10 there. So 80's good, sight tape's on. The height-wise, these are perfect. That's the main thing I'm looking at here. A little right, need to move left and right clicks a little bit. And I mean, that's like 2 or 3 clicks on my HHA. So from here to here, at long range, it doesn't take many clicks. All right, so the number 2 tip for helping your long range groups, improving long range accuracy, is you need to probably switch to a lower percentage let off. So I shot 90% let offs for a long time, and I get it. It feels great, it's comfortable. If you're deer hunting, it definitely helps you be able to hold back for a long time, waiting on that deer to cross in front of that tree or whatever it is. But it does hurt your accuracy. So for accuracy, especially long range, take these let off. So like on a PSE here, I can just move this screw and I can go from, I believe this one goes to 90 to 85 to 80. So these are 80% let off mods. 75 would probably be better. I just don't happen to have these on this particular PSE. Mathews, I think you'll have to get a different mod that has that let off. I will tell you, 80% feels great. 90% off, 90% let off, as good as it feels at full draw when you're able to just feel like you can hold forever. The tension you can put your face puts on the string is definitely more. So you'll see left and right tears. It'll make a difference. Your pin float seems to be a little more with that 90% let off because you're not pulling all the time. So you relax a little more in your shot and it makes your pin move a little more. The bow itself and that wind, if you're shooting in heavy wind, I know we shot in Kansas for Shot 3D. It was pretty windy, stormy actually, and windy and stormy. Having that 80% let off, being able to keep pulling, having to keep pulling into the shot really helped keep my bow steady. So number one, adjust your let, or number two, adjust your let offs. Hold more weight at full draw. It will help you. It will feel weird at first. At first you'll go, I don't like this, it's uncomfortable, it's not what I'm used to. Shoot it for a week or two, see if it gets better. For me, it was weird for a little bit, but man, it got better, and I could really tell my bow set more steady, set rock steady. I'm probably gonna hunt at 80% let off this year. It will change your speed of your bow, so if you notice like your sight tape's not as accurate, you might need to run a new sight tape because your bow's going to shoot faster, which is a good thing, especially if you're shooting Shot 3D and TAC events. You'll want that speed to get underneath some limbs and get over some stuff, and speed's always a good thing if you can get it, if you can handle it. So adjust those let off mods. First and foremost, hold more weight at full draw. All right, so the third thing to help your long range accuracy, and it sounds kind of silly, but you need to check your levels constantly, all the time. So this is just a little cheap, like $15 Amazon level kit. I think they have one for the arrow as well, which I don't even have on. But what we're checking here is with the string level, with everything perfectly parallel on the string, and you can see these levels here. So we can see we're level left and right here, and we are also level, we're level side to side here, and you can see when I push it against the string, it gets level. What we're looking for is with this perfectly level, with everything clamped down, is our sight level and our bar level. So my sight is perfectly level between, the bubble's perfectly level, but what I sometimes get is my actual bar that I slide my sight on is not level. And so what you'll see is at 20 and 30 yards, you're hitting on like the left side of the target. And then when you back up to 100, you start hitting on the right side of the target. And you kind of find like a sweet spot where, yeah, at 60, 70, 80, I'm pretty good, but at 100, I'm off, and at 20, 30, I'm off. So making sure that these are all level is extremely important. If you don't have the stuff or you don't know how to do it, a lot of bow shops, you can take them in, just say, hey, can you check my sight over, make sure it's level, make sure everything, my third axis looks good, second axis looks good. I don't have an issue with third axis so much as I do with the bar itself kind of coming out of whack. And what that looks like is when I'm dialed way down, even with this level, like my bubble bumps over to the left. It's still in the middle, but it cheats left a little more. And if I go all the way down to the bottom, like to 20 yards, it kind of comes back in the middle a little bit. It's not huge, so I'm probably not going to mess with this one too much, but it is something that I notice, and I kind of keep that in mind when I'm shooting. You need to know those things. You need to kind of work for those things. That can be out of whack, and it'll ruin your shoot. Mine was off at the Louisiana Shot 3D event. Mine was off. It was crazy. It wasn't off before, but when I got there, it was. So it messed up my shooting. My sight tape wasn't good either, and I lost some arrows. I missed some shots I shouldn't have. So just some things that that's pretty big. It's pretty easy. This is a cheap little kit. It's like 15 bucks. You probably need these, even if you're not like tuning bows at home, or you're not doing a lot of stuff at home. These two little things are cheap and easy. You can get them on Amazon, and you can check stuff like that at home anytime, and at least know if it's out, go get it fixed. So that's a big one. All right, next item on the list, get good at shooting without bars on your bow. Shoot it light, get used to the float, get comfortable with the float, and then when you put the bars on, it just makes everything perfectly rock steady. But if you're shooting bad without bars, just throwing bars on is not going to fix them. It's just going to make it a little bit better and make it fine tune in where it's just a little steadier, which helps you. I put a lot of weight on it, but I shoot it a lot without weight, like I'm doing right now. Now, by shooting it without weight, I'm not talking about shooting it at 100 yards. I'm talking about shooting it at close range without weight. So to this right here is a little over 40 yards, 40 and a half-ish at a deer target just over there. So we're not talking about shooting long range without weight, but shoot in that kind of mid-range without weight. I think the weight, the bars, really is just there to help you on those long 100-yard shots, 90-yard shots and over. Those close range ones, you really should be able to shoot them without bars and shoot pretty good at them. Yeah, a little high on that one. All right, not the best group. Had a little flyer on the first shot, but the rest of them all pretty good. You got 3 down here in the heart, pretty good. 40 yards, no weight, just a 3-pound bow. I'll take that. Not the worst ever, but get good at that. Shoot a lot of that. Get comfortable shooting like that, no weight. At 40, 50, maybe even 60 yards, bare bow. Then add your bars on, and then let's stretch it out to the fun distances. Okay, so the final tip in my 5 tips for grouping better at long range or shooting better at long range, whatever you want to call it, is go practice. So this is 100 yards. Okay, I don't know if you can see that sight tape or not, but we are set at 100 yards. It looks different, it feels different, the anchor points are different, everything is different at long range versus 40, 50 in. So if you haven't been shooting at 100, you're not going to feel very comfortable shooting at 100 when you go to these events. And I'm not talking about one time, I'm talking about you need to schedule once a week, something like that, to get out and get a little bit of a routine of seeing what it looks like to see through your peep, see through your sight housing at long range. And by long, I mean 80, 100, 120. So this is 100. Hitting just a touch right. Not to make excuses, but I am using a new release, this Ibex from Evolution Outdoors. Just a different release than I'm used to, so it's going off a little bit slower than my UV hinge. So if I get any flyers, that's my excuse. Oh, punched that one. Still fell in there pretty good, I think. Better. Still that one felt good. All right, so that was like 11 arrows in 4 minutes. So just kind of slinging them pretty quick here. All right, a bonus tip for long range shooting. Little things are huge at long range. So like at 20 and 30 yards, knock pinch, it makes a little bit of a difference, but not huge. At 100 yards or 100 plus, having knock pinch where it pinches your arrow at full draw on your D-loop too much is huge. So I actually started off the year, I was going to shoot lighted nocks at all of these events. Bought all the lighted nocks, get them in, get them fitted. They're just a little too tight on my string and a little too tight on my D-loop or my knock pinch. So I had to make a pivot and just not use them as much as I'd like to have seen them and how cool it would have been. I just couldn't do it. So check your knock pinch. That's kind of the main thing. All right, so again, not the best group. Hadn't shot in over a week, 2 weeks probably. This one definitely surprised me. It wasn't supposed to go off, but you can see this group minus, you take out one flyer here and there, that at 100 yards, I'll take it. I'm not a professional, I'm not Levi Morgan, but that's 8 inches, 10 inches maybe group. And I started moving my sight over. I was clicking it a little bit to the right, trying to, I knew I was grouping over here, started moving them over a little bit, and then you get these two over here. Maybe I went a little too far on the second one, but these are just the group. I had one bad shot that went off and I wasn't expecting it, using a new release that I haven't been using. I got 3 arrows here touching. These 3 here are pretty close to touching. These may be a touch high, maybe a half yard off. These are, all the rest of them are really good height wise. you know, at 100 yards, not really shooting much, not being in a routine, I'll take it. I'm not afraid to admit that that's a good group for me. All right, guys, there you have it. My 5 tips and a bonus tip about nock pinch. So 6 tips to help you do a little better maybe at long range shooting, hitting those 100-yard bombs, 80-yard bombs for tack, shot 3D. If you're just deer hunting, hey, it's good to shoot long range. It makes those short 20-yard shots feel like a layup. So everybody should shoot some long range. Don't just shoot 20 and 30 and go, I'll never shoot past that, so I don't need to practice. It makes the close shots easier. So definitely check those out. If those helped you, leave a comment below and let me know. If you've got any to add, leave a comment below and let me know. Please hit like, subscribe, it helps a ton. Make sure you check out the Patreon. It's gonna be new, it's gonna be big. I think it's gonna be cool and everybody's gonna benefit. That's my hope. Let me know what you think down below. Appreciate you watching, guys. Stick around, deer season's coming in just a few months.